What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Life Coach Zach podcast. Today, I have a very special guest with me today, Christy Whitman, celebrity coach, New York Times bestselling author, founder and CEO of Quantum Success Coaching Academy, which is a 12-month law of attraction coaching certification program. Christy, how you doing?
I am so excited to be with you, Zach.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you taking the time out of your busy schedule to hop on the podcast today. This is the first time we're meeting, and just so you know, I am someone who has been learning and practicing and manifesting the law of attraction in my life over the past 5 years with knowing it, but I feel like I've been manifesting a lot of things without realizing it because the law of attraction works in our favor or it works against us. We can manifest good things, we can manifest bad things. And that's something that most people don't understand. So my first question for you is to all the disbelievers out there, or to people that don't really understand the way it works, tell us what the law of attraction is.
I'll say it from a scientific-ish perspective, right? So just like we all believe in gravity, right? We don't have to be talking about gravity in order for our bodies to stay grounded on the chair or your feet planted on the floor. We all believe in gravity. And knowing about it helps us because if we're hiking a mountain, if we walk off the edge, we're going to go splat, right? So it just, as human beings, it's good to know about gravity. Well, law of attraction is one of those universal laws. Like gravity, it doesn't care if you are a man or a woman, if you live in Canada, the United States, it doesn't care. It works the same for every single person. So when people say life isn't fair, it actually is, because law of attraction is always making it fair, meaning what we send out in our vibration, we're going to get more of that. Let me talk about that. We know from science, from even quantum physics, that everything is energy. We just know this, right? And energy carries a vibration. And that vibration is what goes out into the universe and collects more just like it. So if you look at us as human beings, right, we are energy receivers. We always have to be having energy coming into our body because our very cells, all trillions of them, have receptor sites for this energy. So we're either picking up energy from other people, our animal, the environment, people on the road in traffic, or we're picking it up from bringing it in from a higher vibration. And we'll talk about that. But so we're energy receivers. We are energy containers, right? A lot of times people bring in their energy and they give it away. They deplete themselves and don't contain any for themselves. I had a mentor years ago that told me, give from the saucer, not the cup, right? Because you give from the overflow. And when you're an energy receiver and you understand it's completely unlimited energy, feeling good, high vibrational energy like joy, bliss, just appreciation, gratitude. When you bring that energy in and you hold it in your container, what happens is that the ways that we send out energy, I'm going to talk about that in a minute, we are literally in the vibration of a higher energy. That higher energy, through what we say, what we think, what we perceive or believe, expect, what we feel or don't feel, and then the actions that we take. Those are all ways that we are literally shooting out, generating energy from ourselves. And that energy goes out and collects things that appear to be that same vibration. And the forms could be different. It could be money, it could be success, it could be well-being, it could be a trip to, paid trip to Paris. It could be, comes in lots of different forms and in all relationships because it's universal. So the best way to say it is like, we're the ones that are sending out the energy.
Through our thoughts and emotions.
Through what we say.
Okay.
Through the words that we say, right? Through definitely the thoughts, right? The belief, like a thought becoming a solidified, no, this is real. Like when someone is so concrete in their belief, whether it's good or bad belief, let's say it this way, a positive expanded belief or something that's limiting them, right? And some people like to hold on to those limitations, those limiting beliefs, or they're just not even aware that they have them, right? And then there's the whole, of course, emotions. Most of us, I know in my generation, we were told to stuff down their emotions. We were not taught the mastery of our emotions and what they're there for and how to utilize them and how we create with them good or bad. And it's important because that's where most people, when they're having situations in their lives, something happens, right? They get what I like to call bushwhacked or just blindsided, right? These things that happen as a human being, right? You lose someone, a death of a dog. I mean, these kind of life circumstances. We close down our energy, we close down our heart, and therefore we close down our emotions. And that energy, because everything is energy, and now energy is always moving. It cannot stay stagnant. It needs to move because it's creative. So when we have these moments in time where we kind of hunker down around an emotion because we've closed our hearts, that emotion starts to create a spiral effect. It's almost like a caged lion at the zoo, right? And it wants out. It's like it's spiraling and spiraling, right? That's what happens with that energy, and it creates momentum, and it creates a vortex that literally we attract from. So those pain points in our psyche, in our subconscious, which is our whole body, those pain points are what we attract from many times.
Right. So if you're speaking to the average Joe out there and you say, what would you like to manifest? Most people say winning the lottery. I want to manifest a red Ferrari in front of a 20,000 square foot mansion on the beach. I want to manifest a paid trip to Paris, right? All incredible things, right? And it's those thoughts mixed with those high frequency emotions that create the actions that are going to get you closer to there. Because is that correct? So
yeah,
when we talk,
let's talk about that.
Okay, when we talk about the universe, right? I used to always think the universe was like beyond planet Earth, in between Saturn and Jupiter, and the universe is really it's the ether, right? It's what's in between my body and this computer screen. There are atoms and there are electrons and there's a lot of different molecules and things in the ether, in the air, right? In the universe, right here in this 2D, and we can connect our thoughts to those electrons and to those cells or whatever it is, or atoms, subatomic particles, that go out into the universe that rearrange other things that are going on to help us get closer to our dreams faster. So projecting a high vibrational frequency through high frequency emotions like love, joy, gratitude, appreciation, mixed with thoughts of I'm a life coach, right? I want to be the highest paid life coach in the world. I want to command, with inflation 10 years from now, $5 million up front to work with me for a year. That's what I'm manifesting right now. And whether I get there or I get awesome. 10% of the way, I'm manifesting it. So, having the thought that I can do it through hard work and dedication and personal growth and connecting with people like you who let me tell you one thing. I manifested this podcast right here. I'm speaking to a certified law of attraction coach that works with celebrities, a New York Times bestseller, something that I want to become. I'm getting closer there, whether I believe it or not. So that's what I'm working. But please, I didn't mean to cut you off. Tell me more about the ether and the universe and how we can connect to those things to accomplish our goals and dreams.
Well, oh my gosh, I'm laughing so hard. You're just so honored right now. Thank you. So what you just said from a scientific perspective is perfect. Let's break it down, right? One of the universal laws, because I don't talk about just law of attraction, I talk about the 7 essential laws. And one of the laws that's even more important than law of attraction to understand is the law of sufficiency and abundance. Because when you apply this law, you're applying all 7 essential laws. And so this law, in the simplest way I can say it, is imagine a spectrum, right? On one side of the pole or one side of the spectrum is lack and limitation. On the other side of the spectrum is abundance, right? And there has to be a tipping point where you go from lack into abundance. And that's the middle point in this spectrum. And that's satisfaction, right? So from one end, you have everything that's lack, from fear and doubt and frustration and anger and, these emotions, just in life, sadness. These are coming from a energy of lack. On the other side of the spectrum is abundance, right? And that's things like joy and bliss and excitement and passion and purpose and, appreciation and gratitude and joy and love and all that, right? But to tip from one to the other, and why we want to, makes a lot of sense, is coming into that place of satisfaction, of contentment, of looking at positive aspects. Because the thing is in manifesting is that there's always going to be something else, right? When I've been practicing law of attraction, universal laws for 25 years, and I have so many stories to share. It's endless. I've been online for 15 years, talking about stuff like this for a long time. Well, I manifested my husband, right? I manifested the man in my dream, had the perfect scenario and all that. I have those stories in my books. And when we got together, first, he was in Montreal and I was in Pennsylvania. So the first manifestations, we had to get in the same place. So I quit my corporate job, went full-time in my coaching business, moved up to Canada, didn't speak a lick of French, and everything is French. Like the money's different, everything's totally different. And I'm like, I'm all in. And I started my coaching business and I put my nose to the ground and, did my business. I took action, right? Because that's one thing we have to talk about. And in that place, we're in a condo. So now we're together, but we're in a condo that's not ours. So next thing, what do we want to do? We want to find a place. We want to build a house, right? We want to get married. So we get married, build a house at the same time. Then once we do that, then we want a child. Then we get the child. Then we do that, and get another one. Now we need a bigger house. There's always going to be an evolution of what you want to create because we are creative. We are creators, right? So that universe that you're talking about, everything is energy. It's inside of me. It's between my nose and the computer, as you were saying, right? It's above my head. It goes beyond. Everything is energy. I am a formed energy, right? But to see when something goes from literally something you can't see, pure energy, that then goes into the process of becoming subatomic particles and, going into atoms and molecules. Well, you're looking at the full manifested, but my energy field to create that form is big and wide, massive.
Incredible. I love how you say we're just energy, right? Because this is an arm and this is skin, but inside the skin there's organs of a heart, and you break down the heart and it's tissue, and then you break down the tissue and it's molecules, and you break down the molecules, they become cells, you break down the cells, they become atoms, you break down atoms, they become subatomic particles, and the subatomic particles are really just energy. So we're really just energy, but we can feel the disbelievers, because I have two screens. I'm going to look at this screen for a second. To you disbelievers out there, if you don't believe that we are energy, the only reason that you can feel yourself and touch yourself is because the electrons and molecules and atoms are moving so fast that they become solid. Am I right or am I wrong?
That's 100%.
That's 100% true. Okay.
100%.
Yeah. It's hard to believe, but
think about this way. When you talk about the body, okay, so just everybody kind of in your own space right now. Okay, make your heart beat. Oh wait, you can't. How can you make your heart beat? You can speed up your heartbeat if you run in place, but you can't sit here and just go, okay, I'm going to beat my heart. It's being done for you. What do you think is doing that? It's life. Life is energy. Energy is divine. Divine is God. Divine is universe. It's all that. So here's the thing, is that it's in us, it's out of us, it's above us, it's below us. It's like us as fish swimming in the ocean looking for water.
Right. That's a great metaphor, comparison. The fish can't see the water. They're in the water.
Right.
Wow. Okay, so, first of all, I just want to say something. I have a list of questions here, but I got to be really smart about which questions I want to ask because I know you're super busy, but I kind of want to dive a little deeper into the fish in the water type thing. So for me, obviously, I have an unwavering belief in the law of attraction. I believe it. I've manifested things from a paid off house to a Tesla to buying my mom things. But how do I discover more of the law of attraction? I'm meditating 40 minutes a day. I do a lot of affirmations when I wake up and before I go to bed. I am very intentional about writing my goals down, and I'm very present in the moment, right? But if I was a fish in the sea, how would I see the water? How can I, as a human, see the ether, see the universe, and unlock the law of attraction to see these quantum possibilities in front of me and make it happen in real life?
Well, that's where the energy mastery comes in. And that's what I do. That's where I do deep work with clients. I actually channel. I do full person channeling. I don't know if you've ever heard of Abraham Hicks. They're more
Of course,
public
I have
channel.
every single one of his books right next to me right here.
So I channel like them, but a collection called The Council.
Okay.
And so that's The Desire Factor, which is my latest book, was co-written with The Council. Like all my books are just downloaded through
I
me.
cannot wait to read it.
Yeah, you're going to love it. You're going to just love it. But all that to say, it's feeling energy, right? Because we have to understand that we are the masters of our bodies. And we talked about we're energy receivers, we're energy containers, and we're energy transmitters, right? And the thing that we can really pay attention to is, what are we containing within ourselves? What kind of energy? Because back to that example of lack and abundance, if I'm sending out anything that's of lack, and that includes like if you're in fear of something and then you're trying to control yourself, like the behavior is very controlling and you're not very go with the flow and allowing controlling of other people, it's because there's fear behind that, and that fear is based in lack.
Lack of control.
Exactly. It's what our minds let us know, that I'm not either not good enough, or I'm not safe enough, or I'm not loved enough, or this enough, supported enough, right? It comes from that, and we either feel worried, or we feel fear, or we feel sad, or, we feel those emotions, or many times don't. We then start, suppressing them, right? Someone that's sad, that doesn't know how to properly process their energy, and I'm getting back to what your question was, someone that doesn't know how to properly process their energy will literally stuff it, and then sometimes medicate it, sometimes drink it, sometimes smoke it, sometimes shop it, gamble it. All of that comes from pain points. And when you are able to process the energy of the fear, and to literally feel yourself as if you are just a container of energy, and life energy is just flowing through you. If you want to feel even more abundant because you want to attract more abundance, you have to hold more space for that energy of abundance, for that more expansiveness. So you have to intensify. So it's not just about meditating, it's about working with the energy while you're meditating, because you can expand your energy. Like we are energy generators. Like we could just expand and intensify our energy in whatever we're doing. So we can literally, we command our body, we're the masters of our body, saying, okay, we are going to be attuned and aligned with the vibration of joy. And it's like, we're putting our, like a navigation, that's what we're set to. Mm-hmm. And then you feel the energy of joy moving through you.
Yeah. Feeling something and saying something are two different things. I can say I'm grateful to my mother for cooking me dinner and being super nice to me, but that doesn't do anything unless I feel it. And I think practicing controlling our emotions, generating a change in our physiology through our thought patterns, through being conscious of the way joy feels, of the way happiness or bliss or passion or kindness, love, all the things that you mentioned, right? And if you can control that energy, I feel like, the world is your oyster, the sky is the limit. So obviously awareness plays a lot into this, right? We have to be aware. Be aware of our thoughts, be aware of our feelings, be aware of our energy, right? So as you're saying, allow the energy to pass through you, I'm trying to really connect to all the cells in my body, right? I'm trying to be really aware of the feeling inside my arm or the tingling in my fingers. Obviously, I'm sure you've read The Power of Now and A New Earth, mm-hmm. and the power of these books have really impacted my life in a positive way, and it's taken me down so many different paths and stuff. But how can someone be more aware of their energy so they can unlock the law of attraction in their favor?
Well, I always say the first place to start, because if there's 5 aspects of our consciousness which affect our energy, right? There's what we say, what we think, what we perceive, what we feel, and the actions that we take. So the very first place to start is by watching your words. As a matter of fact, I have a beautiful gift to give everybody,
Okay.
because everybody would always ask me, where do we start? How do we start noticing? When you can be aware of what you're saying, like literally paying more focus on the words that you're saying and if they're pulling your energy down, or if you feel good when you say them. There are about 30 wordies 30 words and phrases that people say in just talking with each other, and it doesn't seem like it has any type of harm on it because they were just saying stuff, but words have extreme power. Words not only are vibration and energy, but they start the whole creation process, because in the beginning there was the word, right? It's like words create a sentence, which is a thought, you know? And then those thoughts, thought over and over and over again, create a solidified experience, manifestation, and then there's the belief. See, it's true.
Right.
It manifested, it's true, right? So that belief then gets even more solidified. And then it affects the emotions. So it all starts with a word. So I have a free course to give all of your peeps, if I may.
Please.
That you'll love
Thank
it.
you.
Each video, you get 30 days of these videos called watchyourwords.com. You can go to, and they're 2 to 4 minutes in length, and it tells you the word or phrase you need to absolutely eliminate from your vocabulary, why, and what you want to say instead. Because if you can feel the energetic, let me just explain this. Like during COVID, right, last year, I heard everybody from like top celebrities to my next door neighbor to even my kids say, I miss, right? I miss not going to sporting events. I miss not being able to go play soccer. I miss not being able to go to dinner. I miss not seeing my friends. And when we say that, it gets our heart, but our energy just, we're missing out on something. And then we go, I'm missing out on something. And then we get upset. This dumb, we start vibrating in that energy, and it's creative, and it creates a momentum. And that's what creates the manifestation, right? And instead of saying I miss, I was telling people, including myself, right? I heard myself say, I miss going on a date with my husband, and I went, whoa, wait, no, that didn't feel good. Wait. And I went up to I'm like, I really want to go on a date. And so there was no restaurants or anything open, right? So we went into the park area, just the two of us, without the dog, without the kids, and just sat and talked. Had a couple Perriers, right? It was like
amazing date.
It was awesome. And at that date, I heard myself saying again, right? I miss, and I went, no, I look forward to, right? So we're sitting there in the park, and I really look forward to when the restaurants do open. At this point, we didn't know when they were, but when they do open, I look forward to going to dinner with you. And he's like, yeah, that'd be great. And then we started talking about all the great restaurants in Scottsdale and all the great, places that we've been and where we want to. And then we decided, catch 35, and then it was like, do we want to go by ourselves, or do we want to go with another couple? Because we haven't seen people, right? I was done like with my outfit, what shoes I was going to wear. I mean, it was creative, right? It's a big difference between this is creative, I look forward to, right? Or I appreciate. It's so different than I miss, or I can't, or I shouldn't, right?
So it all starts with our thoughts.
Disempowering.
It all starts with our thoughts. What we're saying. Let me ask you a question though, because the inner dialogue in our head is obviously different than our soul, than the person we actually are, right? Obviously, I'm sure you've heard of Untethered Soul by Michael Singer, right? Another classic, life-changing book for me. And that inner voice in our head is not who we are, and we need to disidentify from that inner voice, right? It's our inner roommate, he calls it, right? That inner roommate. So when you say, be aware of our words, are we being aware of the inner thoughts in our head? Are we being aware of the words that we're speaking?
Both.
Okay, both. Okay.
So both. Starting with what you say out loud is the first place to start. That makes you more mindful, right? And then once you start focusing on the words, then it's easier to catch the thoughts,
Yeah.
right? And then once you're getting used to the thoughts, then you can start noticing, wow, I said this. Do I really believe that? God, where did that come from? My mom thought that. I don't want to keep believing that. Boom, you shift the energy and now it's no longer a
Mhm.
belief. It's like doing a, key eye at a wall and just knocking it down, right? It's like it just gets eliminated when you shift that energy. And so it all builds on each other. And that's where it's like,
Right.
where do we start? You start by paying attention and being mindful of your words because they're
Hmm.
creative. Everything's energy and everything has momentum to it.
Everything has momentum and it builds off itself. So you're either building your dream house or you're building a future full of homelessness, and to be exaggerated, but you know what I mean? Like it's either
There's degrees in
there
between.
are some degrees in between, but you want to build momentum in the right direction. You want to build momentum towards your
Absolutely.
goals and your dreams, and it starts with the awareness of the thoughts that you speak. I like that, and I'm gonna be more mindful of the thoughts that I speak. Any like practices that I could do to be more conscious? Maybe like tapping the table, or when I get in my car, like any cues or triggers that can help me be more aware of the thoughts I speak.
You know what? Honestly, for me, I put post-it notes on places when I'm trying to change a new habit or, trying to adopt something. I just put them wherever. And my office just looks taped ever. And then as it becomes more of a habit and it's more integrated, I can then take off the post-its and go to another one. But that always helps me.
Yeah,
Bathroom, computer, cell phone
same.
has a thing, my, phallic speaker, the
Right.
plant, like I have it all over. And then as I've integrated that and it becomes, because we all know, right, it's like with coaches, it's not about what you know, it's about what you apply.
Mhm. Right.
So everybody could listen to this podcast and have a really amazing experience. Oh, by the way, I wanted to tell you, the untethered soul is literally what the council helps people integrate in their lives. So it's that level of like energy mastery, which is just
Amazing.
amazing because they do healing work too. It's not just information, it's not just the energy. But so they're just
Yeah.
amazing. It's really cool the things that clients have
I'm
been going
looking
through.
forward to
But
learning more.
yeah, it's really cool. But I was gonna say, what was I gonna say? As a coach,
We were saying, like, this is great knowledge. Like
yeah,
the everything we're talking about here is great, but if they don't apply it to their life, if they don't practice it and put it to work, it's useless.
yes, because action is the fifth part of the five aspects of consciousness. We are the physical extensions of this energy. And in order for this energy to create with us and through us, we're the ones that have the legs and the fingers and we're the ones. And so we are, a lot of people talk about, oh, we're a human being, not a human doing. We're actually both. It's the human part of us that needs to do the doing because
Right.
the, non-physical, this amount of energy, which is just as much God self or divine self, and I'm like a size of a basketball for those that are on the podcast, is inside of me and also outside of me. But the difference
Mhm.
between this energy outside of me is that it's not in a container. It doesn't have any arms. It doesn't have a mouth to speak, but it's the same makeup of who I am. The only difference is now I can share information that will help you or anybody else, and show up in my fullness and my passion, what I'm on purpose doing, and create through me. Maybe affect
Yeah.
somebody's life when they hear this or watch this, right? And but this can't do that. It needs us. That's why we are here
Mhm.
as human beings, as co-creators with the divine.
With the divine, which actually is a great segue to my last question. And I know I'm taking up so much of your time right now,
I
Christy,
love
but
it.
this is just such a good conversation. This is just such a good conversation. This is going to be the last question, and I love that you said the divine. It's a perfect segue. I have all these questions right here. I'm just going to toss them over here because they're irrelevant to this next question. My next question is this: what does all this mean? Law of attraction, energy, consciousness, thoughts becoming matter, to life after death. After our body is no longer breathing and our heart stops, because a bullet can go through our brain and yeah, our brain stops working, but our heart is still good and our neurons are still good. Like, eventually we're all going to die. So what does all this mean for life after death?
That's so cheery. Eventually we're all going to die. Yeah, if we don't know that by now, right? It's like that's one thing that all human beings will go through is they will experience the process of transitioning, right? We all have to pay taxes. Like the council says, we are always in transition. We're in transition from this moment to this moment.
Impermanence.
Right? Always in transition. Some are transitioning big, like going from a marriage to a divorce. Others are transitioning by, going into a relationship. Others are starting a business, starting a whatever, right? There's always a transition, moving from one place to another. But there's small transitions from this moment to this moment, and from this part of the day to the next part of the day. There's always going to be transitions, and there's always going to be transitions in our energy. It's not like once you've attained that joy energy, it's like a diploma on a wall. Forevermore, you get it, right? You've reached it.
It's going to last forever.
Wouldn't that be great? Like, wow, you blissed out for the rest of your life. It doesn't work like that. We have to work and master our energy. It's kind of like this. We don't just drink something once during the day or eat something once during the day or eliminate once, like we're doing these things as maintenance in these human suits, right? And we have to do these things. So we have to do the energy consistently. So what all this means after is that we drop the bodies, right? But the energy goes back into non-physical.
Where?
Yeah.
Where does our energy go?
It goes back into the consciousness, the soupy consciousness of all that is. We go back into, and I teach a whole course called Quantum Energy Mastery, and there's a whole thing, like you could see the different dimensions of, like, there's the human being, and then there's the higher mind and the soul self, and then the divine self, and how it literally just goes higher and higher and more vast. And our human minds can't even conceive or comprehend what that looks like, because we think in pictures. Most of us think God is like this man guy sitting on a cloud.
Mm-hmm.
I used to think
That's what I thought he was.
Yeah, he was like Santa Claus. Like he'd be on the cloud. Oh, she was a good girl today, bad girl, right? And I figure, oh, I messed it up. I'm a bad girl. I'm just gonna go all the way with it for many, many years, right? Because I'm going to go to hell anyway. Might as well have fun going there, right?
Oh, right.
Until I realized, oh wait, there isn't some dude on a cloud. Like there's Santa Claus isn't real. Sorry for those of you that are listening with your children in the room. So you know what I mean? It's like, wait a minute. Wait, this is divine, which is God. Like energy is God. God is energy. I have that in me. I am that. Doesn't mean I think I'm God, but it's kind of like the sun and the extension of the sun through the rays of the sun. I'm the ray. I'm not saying I'm the sun, right? You're the wave of the ocean, not the entire ocean.
Wow. Mind blown. It's funny because, like, sometimes I'm walking around, I'm like, I'm not Zach. I'm not 5'9.5", 165 pounds, white, 31-year-old Jewish male from South Florida. No, I'm the awareness.
Adorable, by the way. I just have to throw that in. Go ahead.
Thank you, I appreciate it. But like, I'm not this person. I'm the awareness that I'm just in this body. I am in control of this vessel, and I can do whatever I want with it, whether it's run another Ironman or do a 100-mile ultra marathon or become a New York Times bestseller like you, which is my freaking dream.
Twice.
So that is just incredible.
That's okay. Twice.
Oh, twice? Okay. How did you manifest that? Please tell me the secret.
Oh, that's a whole nother conversation.
We'll say that for next time. Next time you come out with your third New York Times bestseller,
there you go. I'm working on it on this one. I'll tell you what, on the Desire Factor, which I will send you. You will absolutely love it. If you're loving this conversation that we're having, you will love that book.
Amazing. I am going to email your team right now. Christy, thank you so much. I'm telling you I'm grateful, and I'm feeling so grateful that you took the time out of your busy schedule to come on the podcast today. It was nothing short of a pleasure, and I wish you the best of luck with everything.
Thank you so much, and thank you for the difference you're making to everybody.
Thank you. And to everybody listening and watching on YouTube or on Spotify, Apple Music, I'm going to link all of Christy's social media handles at the bottom of this, and you can go check out her book, check out her coaching certification law of attraction program. And if you have any questions, don't hesitate to shoot Christy a direct message. I'm sure she'd be happy to talk to you guys. Christy, enjoy the rest of your week, and I'll talk to you soon.
Thank you.